when an actor dies this young, you're aware immediately of all of the work that you won't see.
I feel like you're spiting me. Do you think I took this job to spite you?
I think the news of Philip Seymour Hoffman's death hit me especially hard, harder than celebrity deaths often do, partly because it was so sudden and so unexpected. I had really kind of grown up as a movie watcher and then as a film critic, watching his films and seeking out his theatrical performances. And I think he had a special gift, the gift that the greatest actors have, of really bringing you into a state of intimacy with whatever character he was playing.
Do you like my car, Dirk?
What?
I mean,
Yeah.
because I wanted to, I wanted to make sure you thought it was cool, or else I was gonna take it back.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's great, Scotty.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
I
Scotty.
love you. I really
I
love
love
you.
you too, Scotty.
Okay.
Let's go back inside, okay?
All right. All right.
There's almost no moment in any Philip Seymour Hoffman performance where he says to the camera, like me, be on my side, sympathize with me. He kind of specialized in playing creepy, disgruntled, grumpy, or just outright awful characters.
I want to undress her. I want to tie her up.
And yet he did so with such honesty and such integrity that you couldn't help but be drawn into their world. Not necessarily to feel sympathy with them, but to feel a kind of human identification with them as they suffered and struggled. So the supreme example, the most famous role, the role that he won the Oscar for, was Truman Capote in Capote.
I could see that Joe was in even worse shape than I was. He grabbed my hand and he said to me, "Talk."
What that picture shows is how he kind of corrupts himself and hollows himself out and sells his soul, as it were, and sells out his friends in the pursuit of literary ambition and his curiosity about this story.
Hey, talk about anything. I mean, any subject in the world. Don't worry whether it'll interest me or not. Just talk.
Another great performance, maybe I think my favorite of Hoffman's, is as Lancaster Dodd in Paul Thomas Anderson's The Master.
I do many, many things. I am a writer, a doctor, a nuclear physicist, a theoretical philosopher. But above all, I am a man.
He's playing a very charming and charismatic and somewhat monstrous figure, the leader of this cult. What he shows you in this performance is a character who's very much aware of himself as a performer, who's acting out himself on the kind of the stage of the world in front of his believers, in front of his family. At the same time, Hoffman lets you see the pain and the insecurity and just the deep loneliness that's underneath that performance. So you're always watching kind of through a hall of mirrors, the performer giving a performer as a performer. And it's an amazing, both technically and in terms of its sheer emotional and psychological impact. It's just an extraordinary performance.
That man in the armor, was that me?
Yes, that was your spirit. Our spirits live on in the whole of time, exist in many vessels through time. This is the vessel you're existing in now.
He benefited enormously from the rise of what we think of as independent film and the emergence of filmmakers like Joel and Easton Cohen, Spike Lee, Paul Thomas Anderson especially, also Todd Solondz, who really gave him the opportunity to have big and interesting and complicated roles. But he was also able to really become an important and significant star and to develop himself as really, I think now, it has to be said, one of the greatest, if not the very greatest actors of his generation. So the loss is enormous, and yet the body of work that he left behind is just extraordinary.